on the phones. 800-919-3776. 800-919-ESPN. Don't forget the live stream available. The video over at ESPN New York 98.7 FM's Twitter handle, and of course on ESPN New York's Facebook page. You can see it all right there, and you can leave comments as well, and we will work them into the show, in addition to Twitter as well, at Chris Carlin. Raul in Edison has been very patient. Raul, what's going on, buddy?
Hey, Chris, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Not bad. So, first of all, if Blue Jays get DJ LeMahieu, I'll be ecstatic. But
You'll be ecstatic. Are you a Blue Jay fan?
Yes, I am.
Ah, well, I would understand that because he's a tremendous player. Meanwhile, they'll be ready to burn down the Bronx.
Yeah. I called regarding Greg Williams. Now, I'm also a longtime Saints fan. So I have nothing but hatred for Greg Williams, trust me.
Yeah.
But may I draw your attention to another angle? Maybe the Joe Douglas or Christopher Johnson asked Greg Williams to throw the game. We all know that neither of the coaching staff was coming back for the Jets. And I will be surprised if even Gase comes back next year. But
none of the coaching staff is coming back, but why would they fire Greg Williams today if that's what they asked him to do?
Because they don't want to show the fans that we are throwing the game. Fans still have hope for the game. Players are playing hard, like you pointed out.
Here's the problem with that, okay? If you're Joe Douglas, if you're Christopher Johnson, how do you look your players in the face and maintain respect when that's the case? You can't. You can't, because they're the ones who are out there busting it for you. And if you decide that you're going to pack it in and you want to get that number one pick, so you tell your coach to go all out blitz on the last play of the game, you should never be allowed to run a team again, okay? There's a difference between positioning yourself to maybe not win some games, like late in the year if they play James Morgan, things like that, okay? There is a credibility difference between that and between telling a coach to out and out call something that's going to cost your team the game. You don't do that. And if you're...
I understand that, but you know how management works. It happened behind closed doors, and they had cut a deal, like you said. Okay, you take a paid vacation, whatever, but we don't want you to win the game. And Jets were winning the game.
Now, listen.
So they panicked, and they're like, you know what, throw the game.
I doubt it. I appreciate the call. Thanks for checking in. The problem is, Raul, when that's the case, you have no credibility in the league. Anybody finds out about that, it gets ugly, and it gets ugly quick. And frankly, do I trust Greg Williams to keep his mouth shut? No chance in hell. No chance in hell. Greg Williams wanted out. He wanted a little paid vacation, and he got it. That's exactly what happened here. He wanted out. If you don't look at this and come to that conclusion, I don't know what else we're looking at here, because that is a coach who has been in the league long enough. As aggressively stupid as he has been in the past, he is not this stupid. He is not this stupid. You are going to call an all-out blitz with a wide receiver who is the fastest in the game and a cornerback who is an undrafted rookie free agent. Greg Williams wanted to get fired. It's a disgrace. It's an abomination. He'll never be a defensive coordinator again unless the owner's an idiot, and he shouldn't be. And at 61 years old, just pack it in, because everybody knows you've got zero integrity. Zero. We've seen it before, and we see it again. And when people show you who they are, believe them. Now, I do want to flip over to the Giants for just a few minutes, because they deserve more than just a few minutes. But you get the point. Folks, all bets are off. All bets are off. I'm here to tell you, with what I witnessed yesterday, anything can happen this season with the New York Giants. I fully believe that. Anything can happen. You basically now have a 2-game lead, having beaten Washington twice. You went out to Seattle with a backup quarterback and a defense that is playing at an elite level. Leonard Williams is actually finally making Dave Gettleman look like he knew what he was doing. It was still a dumb move. They still could have signed him in the offseason. But at the very least, Leonard Williams now, 2.5 more sacks, looks like the dominant force that you thought he could be. Patrick Graham looks like he's headed to be a head coach with how this defense is playing. Logan Ryan was the signing of the offseason for $7.5 million. Jabril Peppers is playing great football. None of us thought Jabril Peppers could be a great safety. He's doing a tremendous job. James Bradbury, unbelievable signing in the offseason. Blake Martinez, Dave Gettleman's done everything right. The head coach has taken what he's been given and has motivated them in all the right ways, has shown incredible respect for them, while at the same time showing that he is setting a culture in place. You know, the Giants' defense over the last 7 games has given up less than 19 points a game. If you look at the league, that would be good for 3rd in the league right now. 3rd in the league right now. Here's the best part. They're playing all-weather football. Gallman is running north and south and doing a phenomenal job. Colt McCoy didn't turn the football over. And as for Russell Wilson yesterday, I have not seen him look that rattled since he got knocked out of the 2008 Papa John's Bowl when he was at NC State. He was lost. Let me ask you a question. Does anybody think the Giants can't finish 9-7 right now? Anyone think the Giants can't make a run right now? I mean, I know their next 3 opponents are 21-14, but it's not out of the realm after you have a win like that. We talked about this last week. It's one of those games. It's not a springboard, but holy crap, it puts you on a whole nother level. As long as they avoid reading their clippings this week and they continue to play like this, I mean, that's not the kind of game that you go and win in a fluky way. The Giants deserve to win that game in every possible way. I'm starting to think they are going to put together a run here, as ridiculous as it is. I mean, I think now, I always reserve the right to change my opinion, but 6 wins to me was a lock on the division. It still is. I think they're going to end up winning at least 7 or 8, which after you started 1-7 was just freaking remarkable. I mean, can they win their last 4 games? They absolutely can win their last 4 games. Of course they can. And then you get into the postseason, you're peaking at the right time, you're playing all-weather football, all bets are off. Let me take that back. There's one bet that's on. You know what I did today? Flipped on the old FanDuel Sportsbook. I took a look at futures for the Super Bowl. The Giants right now are 70-1 to win the Super Bowl. I put $25 down. Why not? I mean, you might sit there and think that I am flushing it down the toilet, but a few years ago, before the 2017 season, I was in Vegas. And I placed one bet to win the Super Bowl. One. At 30-1. The Philadelphia Eagles. $50. Paid off $1,500. Now what? 912 calls next. 800-919-3776. Tell me they can't get on a run after you win a game like that. Please tell me, because it's going to be hard for me to believe. Daniel Jones is going to be back this week, and there's no reason the Giants can't beat the Cardinals. 98.7 ESPN.
You're down.
Back this holiday season with its Guinness Gives Back 8-pack. For every limited edition pack made, the Irish Brewer is donating $1 up to $750,000 to charities across the country, including Feeding New York State, which works to ensure that every person in New York State has access to healthy food. Look for these special packs with a design inspired by New York on shelves all over the state, and a design inspired by America on shelves in New Jersey, Connecticut, and everywhere else. Learn more at GuinnessGivesBack.com or Guinness USA on social media.
Please drink responsibly. Guinness Draft Stout, imported by Diageo Beer Company, USA, New York, New York.
Liberty Mutual Insurance Company presents and Doug.
Fasten your seatbelts, folks. We'll be prepared for takeoff.
Limu, how cool is this? Your first time flying. Oh, I didn't mean... Listen, Limu, you might not be able to fly, but you do something even cooler. You tell strangers that Liberty Mutual customizes their car insurance so they only pay for what they need.
Sir, do you have a certificate for your service bird?
Liberty. Get a customized quote at libertymutual.com.
During cough and cold season, Walgreens knows noses.
All right, people, what's going on?
Leaky faucet noses. You know who you are. Those noses that tickle and twitch. So cute. And in as little as 30 minutes, Walgreens makes it easy to pick up your cough and cold must-haves. 30-minute pickup. Now that's faster than trying to find a clean sleeve. This week, select Mucinex products, now only $14.99 each. Walgreens. Use as directed. Restrictions apply to 30-minute pickup. Valid through December 12th with My Walgreens. See walgreens.com/pickup for details.
Dear, it's 1908. Don't you think we should get electricity?
And stop using candles to see at night.
It's just electricity lights up the room fast. It's more reliable than candles blowing out, and people seem to love it nationwide.
Well, candles are...
Dear, did you just run into the wall?
Nope. May I have a new candle, please?
Historically, switching to new technology is a no-brainer. Today, it's AT&T 5G. Fast, reliable, secure, and nationwide. Switch to AT&T 5G. It's not complicated. 5G requires compatible plan. May not be in your area. See att.com/5G for you for details.
Want to hear something amazing? Discover matches all the cash back you earn on your credit card at the end of your first year, automatically, dollar for dollar, with no limit on how much you can earn. Extra cash? Come on, how amazing is that? In fact, it's even more amazing when you realize all the places where Discover is accepted. 99% of places in the U.S. that take credit cards. So when it comes to Discover, get used to hearing yes more often. Learn more at discover.com/yes. 2020 Nielsen Report. Limitations apply.
Jets on 3, 1, 2, 3, Jets!
The 2020 New York Jets
I feel like I'm the most dominant tackle on this draft.
are committed.
Guys that are passionate about ball, guys that are highly competitive, guys that are smart.
All season long.
Cover your brother today!
Watch One Jets Drive.
All right, Chris, coming to you in 10.
Award-winning docuseries presented by JetBlue. See it on Facebook, YouTube, and nyjets.com.
All right, one thing I got to clarify. After the Redskins or Washington's win just a little while ago, they are now tied with the Giants at 5-7. But when I said they had a 2-game lead earlier, I was thinking they still had the game lead in the win column. Plus, the tiebreaker makes it that extra game. So they basically still have a game lead over the Redskins. God, I keep saying it. Over Washington. But because of the tie, but right now they're tied. Doesn't change my opinion about what the Giants are actually capable of doing right now. By the way, Steelers. Oof. That's a rough one. 800-919-3776. 800-919-ESPN. Jay in Bayside is next. Jay, what's going on?
Chris, how you doing tonight?
I'm outstanding, Jay. What do you got?
I'm just a little worried about you. I think you're sipping a little bit too much of this Giants Kool-Aid. All hats off to the
I'm not
Giants.
telling you they're going to go win the Super Bowl. I'm telling you that right now they're one of the hottest teams in football. And if that continues, they can get on a run.
What is a run to you, Chris? I don't think they're better than Green Bay, better than the Saints. You know, these are teams that they would have to play to.
Well, let me ask you a question.
Run, and I think
let me ask you a question. When
Yeah.
the Giants have gone to the Super Bowl in 2007 and 2011, were they the best team? No.
I think if you look at the rosters, they had more talent.
No, in 2007 they went on the road 3 times and won, including in Dallas.
Yeah.
Dallas was the best team at the time, and then they beat the Patriots, who were undefeated going into the game. No, they weren't the best team. It's who's playing the best at the time. And look, the Saints are an excellent team. Don't get me wrong. Okay? The Packers are an excellent team. Don't get me wrong. I don't think anybody wants to play the Giants right now.
If you were Green Bay, you would be scared of the Giants?
If I was Green Bay, I'd be concerned. Yeah, if I was anybody, I'd be concerned playing the Giants.
On this trajectory, who would their first-round matchup be?
I got to look it up now. If you give me a second, I'll tell you. But the
once again, I might be a bitter Jets fan, but just I would be very wary. The NFL is a week-to-week league, and if the Giants get blown out by the Cardinals or don't look too great, you're going to have an upside-down smile on your face.
Yeah, I'm not even a Giant fan, but right now the Giants would play the Seahawks in the 4-5 game.
How interesting is that? In a rematch, who would you have?
I understand that the Seahawks are an excellent team. Are you not getting what I'm saying here, Jay? They're playing the best right now. And they're capable of doing a lot of things if you continue to play at this level. And they're playing like an all-weather team right now.
Would you give the same kudos to the Cleveland Browns, who had a
phenomenal the Browns are playing absolutely. The Browns are playing tremendous football, and that was a great win yesterday in Tennessee, and completely unexpected. The Browns absolutely are playing top-notch football. And thanks for the call right now, Jay. I'm talking about over in the NFC. Right now, I'm not telling you they're going to go, but for me to not put $20 down at 70-1, some might call that negligent. Dino in Brooklyn. Next. Dino, what's going on with you, buddy?
Hello, you can hear me?
Oh, I can hear you.
What's up, man? How are you?
I'm great. How you doing, Dino?
I'm doing good. I got a little bit of an idea. It's a thought. What if, like, the NFL does away with the tanking and getting the number 1 overall pick and do something like the NBA does, to where no matter how bad you are.
No. I don't want the lottery. No, I think that's
But then listen, you got these people, you got grown men getting hurt. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're going all out on a full contact sport. Like, give these guys a chance. Like, you just said it before. Like, how are you going to look at these guys in their eyes and expect them to go all out every game, you know?
No, but
like,
listen, this is different. That was a different scenario yesterday. That was a coach who knew he was getting fired and wanted out early so he could get the rest of the year off. That's what happened. And he thought he's thinking about his next job. I can tell you, nobody's hiring Greg Williams as a defensive coordinator unless it's Dan Snyder, unless it's, down in Jerry Jones in Dallas, unless it's Mark Davis, unless it's just a bad owner. Then and Mark Davis isn't even like his father, so it's not even like that. Nobody's hiring him anymore. It's not the same thing. I know what you're talking about with the lottery, but this is not like the NBA where it is a full-on tank. It's not like that.
But that's what I'm saying, though. Like, these people are getting hurt. Like, you're doing all of this for what? You know what I'm saying? Like,
what do you think they're going to do? Just not play the games?
Their bodies on the line. they're getting a paycheck.
They're getting a large
Nobody's
paycheck.
winning. No, I know, but nobody's winning, and it's like it's boring to be a Jets fan because you know what the process is, and it's like don't incentivize these teams. You had Robbie Anderson, you had Lev Bell, you had all these people. You didn't get it done. I know because of the coach, but hey, you can't tank because you're not going to get the first overall pick. You're going to get a 25% chance. So do good.
Look, I think when you look at it as a whole, you're not looking at it quite the right way. I appreciate the call, Dino. What I'm saying is that while you're right, it's difficult to look those players in the face when they're putting it all out there for you. This was a very specific situation with a coach that didn't give a damn about anything but getting the hell out of town. That's it. That's it. He wanted a paid vacation for the rest of the year and however much he's got left on that contract. Basically, his mentality was, why should I stick around with these losers? I'll show you. Cover 0. Let's put a rookie out there on rookie free agent, undrafted, on Henry Ruggs. That was an utter disgrace by Greg Williams yesterday. 800-919-3776, 800-919-ESPN. We got open lines, good chance for you to get through. Let's hit Danny in Newark next, 98.7 ESPN. Danny, what's going on?
Hey, what's up, Chris? First thing, 100% agree with you on everything you talked about with the Giants. I'm a big Giants fan, great win, and I think teams are going to be scared to play them in the playoffs. But I do want to touch base one thing on the Greg Williams situation.
Sure.
Where I agree with you, yeah, bad call, 100%. This morning I was on Twitter and I kind of looked at the video again and something kind of caught my eye. So if you get a chance, if you could look at that last play again, to me, and like what the last caller said, the Jets are just bad to begin with. I just think there's no effort with them. They have low morale. But if you look at the last play, look at number 40 sitting in the middle. Everybody was covered. He had the chance to run. If he would have ran through the middle, he had a chance. I'm not saying he would have, but he had a chance to attack Carr. If you look at him, he delayed.
He was a spy. They actually had a spy on the play. That's why he didn't run through. He was actually out there waiting for Carr to run somewhere. Carr doesn't run anywhere.
Exactly. If he would have went and ran through the middle instead of that late last minute try to jump out the way, it was a bad call to begin with. But if he wasn't playing spy and he would have just all out blitzed with the rest of them, I think that play could have ended a little different because it would have disrupted the timing.
It's still an awful, awful call.
At all.
Yeah.
It was a brutal call.
I'm not putting it on him. I'm not putting it on Neville Hewitt for not changing it at the line. I'm not putting it on anybody else besides Greg Williams.
No, I mean, I definitely agree. It was a bonehead call, but I think it definitely had opportunity to go a little different. I'm
not going to give it an opportunity to go a little bit differently. And thanks for the call, because it never should have had to get to that point. I mean, to do that is so beyond irresponsible in every way. It's trying to get fired. That's exactly what he was doing. And it's an utter embarrassment on his part. An utter embarrassment. I want you to listen to this. This is what Mike Silver reported about how it all broke down last night, okay? Mike reported this on NFL Network Game Day Final. Raiders coaches and players weren't surprised that Greg Williams dialed up an all-out blitz with the game on the line, and Derek Carr checked to a 7-man protection and tight end Darren Waller to chip a defensive end. One person who was caught off guard, Jets head coach Adam Gase, who never imagined his defensive coordinator would make a call leaving the back end so vulnerable with the Raiders, so far from the end zone and with a timeout. Gase was in a discussion with another coach when he heard 0 over the headset, indicating a cover 0 scheme without a safety, and was shocked. As he turned to the field to react, the Raiders were snapping the ball. Theoretically, linebacker Neville Hewitt, the Jets' defensive signal caller, could have checked out of the defense in reaction to Carr's check changing to protection. But the player decided against making that executive decision. Afterward, Hewitt was beating himself up for having not checked to a cover 2, but no one was blaming the player. And with the firing of Williams this morning, it's clear who the Jets' powers that be felt was responsible. Tells me everything I need to know. I honestly believe that Greg Williams was just done with the season. I'm getting fired anyway. Let me go enjoy my Christmas season and collect my check. Guy should never coach in the league again. You should never coach in the league again. You do something like that. Greg Williams has always shown himself to be a man of very little integrity. A man who undermines head coaches when he's defensive coordinator. A man who ran Bountygate. And now this. No integrity whatsoever. Victor in New Rochelle next. Victor, what's going on?
Hey, Chris, real quick, I want to talk about the Giants, but I don't know. Why didn't the Jets head coach intercede there right there and say, what?
I just told you, like, by the time he heard cover 0 and turned to the field, he was already turned to the field and the ball just got snapped.
Oh, okay. All right. I wanted to talk about the Giants.
I fully believe Adam Gase in that situation. Fully.
Yeah. Absolutely. I think the Giants are going to go on a run because now they started off, 1-7?
Yep.
Now they're what, 5-7?
Yep.
I think teams are starting to look at them and go, we better start looking at the Giants because
I think after you go into Seattle and win, then you have to look at them and take them seriously.
Absolutely, because now other teams are they're not quaking, but they're starting to look at them. They say we better keep an eye on them. We better start scouting them a little bit because they might be on the run.
Well, it's not even scouting them a little bit. The Giants are not going to be a pushover. You know, before you could have looked at this, and if they had won the division with 6 wins, you would have looked at them and not taken them very seriously. Okay, and you would have had every right for that to be the case. Right now, the way they are playing, it's impossible not to take them seriously with how bad that division is. So you're going to end up winning the division, and you're going to end up in the postseason as a dangerous football team with at least one home game.
Especially when you start off the season at 1-7.
Yeah.
I mean,
appreciate the call, Victor. I mean, that's remarkable that they've been able to do this. And as I said earlier, you know, the Redskins were 4-7. Now they're 5-7. So they're tied with the Giants, but the Giants control their own destiny because they own the tiebreaker with the Redskins, which is basically like having a 1-game lead. 800-919-3776, 800-919-ESPN. It's Carlin on 98.7 ESPN. Also, the video stream is over at 98.7 ESPN's Twitter feed and on ESPN New York's Facebook page as well. Up next, why exactly this should be an active week for the Mets. Carlin, right here, 98.7 ESPN.
I'm
800-919-ESPN. Let's hit Mark in Newark next, 98.7 ESPN, who is all over my timeline again yesterday. Mark, what's going on?
Man, I love being all over your timeline. You got to know that by now.
What's going on?
Hey, Chris, you can all caps me right now because I agree with everything that you said. I agree with all of it. And it does, especially the part when you said that it feels like he was trying to get fired. Okay, see you later. But I like that the defensive players were to a fault. I mean, they just, like you were saying about how Neville Hewitt, could have changed it, but it was an executive decision, those kind of things. I like that even knowing that it was a bad call, that they still went out there and gave their 100. I mean, the kid got burnt, but I mean, who's not going to get burnt when the guy runs forward too? So, and he even said himself that he shouldn't have went for the double move, and that was, I think, a rookie mistake. Not that it mattered, that it should have never been. He never should have been put in that spot to begin with. But still, as I was capping,
I mean, it's just wrong for the kid. I mean, and the kid was sick after the game. It's, look, players have to execute, but it's not his fault.
No, not at all. When I was capping you about Hall, him too. I mean, you know what? The next defensive coordinator that we get, it's a lot of young talent on this defense. But as far as our cornerbacks, I think that we can't just say, okay, let's play soft zone. This is, all the stuff I was hitting you with. You can't. You gotta let the trial by fire. Agree or no?
Yeah. Yes, but I mean, trial by fire. How? By going for the zero?
Well, like when Hall got burned on that long pass and the touchdown. Like that's the first one that's happened to him since he's been on the team. But he took a bad angle, and I think that he won't make that mistake on a regular, because if he does, then he's just not a good cornerback.
No, I think Bryce Hall's got a chance to be very good.
Yeah, me too.
And so look, there are guys. Look, there's trial by fire, and then there's stupidity by coaches.
Exactly. I'm still gonna keep my head up for the young guys. I can't wait for next week's game. They played well. You already know how I felt, how Sam played. You even hit me back with the pocket awareness is not there.
I mean, I'm glad you brought it up because I didn't even talk about it yet, Mark. Okay. Thanks for the call. The problem with Sam is, and look, I get it. He played better in the second half. There is absolutely no feel in that pocket for the rush coming. None whatsoever. Sam just does not have that presence. When he gets strip sacked twice, and it's not like they were bum rushes, okay? It was coming around the outside, and you have to have a certain feel for it. And the second one was so bad, so bad. To have that situation where Sam gets stripped of the football after he had a good 3.5, 4 seconds to throw the ball. It's inexcusable. It's inexcusable. That was, if you ever still needed to be convinced that getting Trevor Lawrence or Justin Fields is the way to go, watch that again yesterday. Watch those 2 strip sacks. Because, Becton got beat around the outside of the first one. But it was a long, circuitous route to get there. And then on the other one, they got beat on the inside. 800-919-3776. How about Sly in Newark? Sly's next, 98.7 ESPN. What do you got, brother?
How you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
I just want to say real quick, I listen to you, every time you're on, and definitely enjoy to listen to.
Oh, man, thank you. I appreciate that.
And very funny, very funny. But what I want to say about the Jets, the Jets announcers, they was back in the call at the all-out blitz. I couldn't believe that. I was saying to myself, there's a reason why they work for the Jets.
Who, Bob?
And then, he was agreeing with that call.
I don't think he was. No, I listened to it too. He wasn't agreeing with that call. They were acknowledging that that's what they did. They weren't saying it was the right call.
Okay. And the Giants, I root for the Giants and the Jets.
Mm-hmm.
The Giants, they are better than their record indicates. And I think they're going to be a problem. Like, I'm going to do the same thing you did. I'll put some money down and see what happens.
All I'm telling you is
I appreciate the call.
plus 7,000 right now over on FanDuel. It's just saying, $20. It's a nice little payday. You know, you can swing at $10. Come on. Why not? Why not? I mean, only if you're, interested in value. I'm not by any stretch saying the Giants are going to go win the Super Bowl, okay? But can they get on a run? It would be negligent of me as a pseudo gambler. I don't really bet very much. I pop in $20, the most maybe $50 occasionally. A couple, I shouldn't say occasionally, during football season, during the NFL, but all on FanDuel, nowhere else. And it's just, when I would go to Vegas, I'd put down a future bet, things like that. I saw that today. I just went to look. What are the Giants? Plus 7,000 to go win the Super Bowl? How do I not put $25 on that? How do I not? Dwayne is in New something. Dwayne, what's up?
What's up, Chris? How you doing, buddy?
Good. Where are you? New what?
New Brunswick.
New Brunswick. Outstanding. What do you got?
Come on, you're Rutgers, man.
I know. It doesn't say New Brunswick. It just says new.
All right. I listen all the time. I could go on. I could stay here and talk to you all day about Oreos. We can talk about everything, but I just want to talk about, a couple things. First off, the Giants. That other caller had no idea what he's talking about. The Giants right now are the scariest team in the NFC right now. The way that defense is playing.
That's the thing.
Green Bay, the Rams, anybody would not want to see the way the Giants are playing right now.
The Giants are playing all-weather football, especially defensively, and they are rolling at the moment. I mean,
they are rolling. And
let's call what it is. Leonard Williams is a problem for the first time in his career consistently. Leonard Williams is a big problem for offensive coordinators.
Exactly. And I saw this a month ago. I did what you did. I went, checked out what the Giants will pay out, if I just put the conference winner, and I went on, I put $100 down.
Ooh.
They give me $7,000. And I really believe that
just to go to the Super Bowl.
Just to go to the Super Bowl.
Wow.
So I see it right now. The NFC is vulnerable. Like, yeah, you have your great teams. You have the Saints. You have, the Rams. But the Giants they're that team where their defense is rolling and their offense can get going, and that's that scary team that can get there and and make it to the Super Bowl this year.
Yeah, listen, I'm not gonna jump to it yet, Dwayne. Thanks for the call. But all I'm saying is when you watch how they're playing and how they went up and beat, frankly, one of the top 3 quarterbacks in the league and made him look so bad. I mean, it's beyond impressive what they've been able to do. Beyond impressive. I'll tell you what. You don't win that kind of game in fluky fashion. I didn't hit the Mets. The Mets will do that next. 800-919-3776. Your calls the rest of the way until the great Larry Hardesty with ESPN New York tonight in a bit. And if you haven't heard, we've got a big lineup change coming up January the 4th. How about a nice local morning show? That's right, from 5 to 8 a.m., DiPietro, Canty, and Rothenberg. It's DCR. Love it to start your day. Then you've got Zubin, Keyshawn, and Jay Will. Then you got Greeny, who is in on New York quite a bit. Bart and Hahn, with your plenty of New York stuff to talk about, plus a little, national flavor, but that's still going to be a New York show. You got Max in there, and then, of course, the Michael K. Show. The staple, the anchor, the tent pole of it all. From 3 to 7, myself 7 to 10, Larry from 10 to midnight. And, of course, Gordon Damer throughout the course of the morning with New York updates. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love the way it's setting up. 800-919-3776, 943. Open lines, you and me, the rest of the way. And a little bit of Met talk when we come back. 98.7 ESPN.
You are down, Chris.
The Mets shouldn't be wasting any time here. And I know that we can all sit here and talk about how much money Steve Cohen has and how much they're going to spend this offseason. We heard from Buster Olney earlier. And by the way, if you didn't hear that chat, you can hear it on our podcast for the show Carlin, which is available wherever you get your podcast. You can hear that interview. And Buster basically tells you how aggressive the Mets have been already. Now, there's going to be a difference between being aggressive and being stupid. And Sandy is not dumb to that. I mean, I think we can agree on that. But the earlier that you can get people even more fired up about how things are changing for the better for the organization, the better. Because you want people going into this holiday season excited, thinking about the first time that you're going to be allowed back in the stadium next year, thinking about all things Mets that they haven't been able to think about in a while. Now, they've got their guys, whether it's Springer or whomever like that. If that's where you're going to go, going and getting that done soon, I think really pays a large dividend with your fan base. They're all excited right now, right? But they don't still know what Steve Cohen is. They know he's a guy who wants to win. And the most important thing is they know his last name is not Wilpon right now. So with all of that being the case, the best thing to do is to show them some action early. That's Springer. Getting Springer done as soon as humanly possible to me. And that means, this week or next, I think would do an awful lot for the Met fan base. Now, look, the Yankees and LeMahieu, you get the feeling this is going to take a little bit longer to play out. They cannot afford to let him go. If they get to a point where the Blue Jays or somebody else offers him 5 years and $100 million and they let him go, that's negligence. That's remarkable general manager negligence. Because while, yes, he may not be the same player after year 5 or at year 5 that he is right now, does anybody honestly look at DJ LeMahieu and think that he is falling off a cliff anytime soon? Does anybody think that? No, nobody thinks that. Nobody thinks that at the end of this contract, he's not still going to be productive in some way. I shouldn't have to run down what the resume is, but I just have this fear. It's something that always happened with George that bothered me, and it's something we've seen happen with the Yankees a few times that's bothered me, and it hasn't been so much that they were wrong with the way they did it with, let's say, Robinson Cano, okay? But in this case, if you don't value your own guy as much as you value the guys outside the organization, if you show more love to the guys you're trying to convince to come here as opposed to the guy that you're trying to convince to stay, it's not right. It's not right. So if he ends up for 5 and 100 with the Blue Jays, that's malpractice, man. That's malpractice. And that, to me, if you're Hank, that shows me that winning is not nearly as important to you as it was to your father. If you're not willing to go to that 5th year on a guy like DJ LeMahieu. Other guys, I understand it. This guy, this is a different breed of player. And you have to respect that when you have it. And basically, you got it by accident, by pure luck, by pure happenstance. You got him for 2 years and $24 million. And that was a freaking steal for what you got the last 2 years. And I know we can all sit here and say, well, they've got a price. They've got a price on everybody, and they're not going to go, how far is too far? With this guy, if that's the number we're talking about, it's not too far. So I think for both of these teams, getting something done on the earlier side, it goes a long way with the fan base. LeMahieu, especially with the Yankee fan base, and the Mets getting frankly, a center fielder that they have needed for years. Nimmo did an okay job, and he's a pretty good player. But he's not George Springer. George Springer's a big bat in the middle of that lineup. 800-919-3776. Now, I don't have to remind you that it's the most wonderful time of the year. And the Michael K. Show holiday broadcast is back. This year, we're giving you a chance to take to the airwaves with Michael, Don, and Peter with your holiday hot take. Everybody's got them. So fire one off for your chance to win some holiday spending, a cash, and your way on air during the Michael K. Show holiday broadcast. It's Wednesday, December 16th. Dial into the holiday hot take hotline right now. 347-974 ESPN. 347-974-3776. Leave us a message with your best hot take. 4 winners will each score $250 and a shot at the spotlight during the show with the biggest names in sports. The Michael K. Show, 98.7 ESPN. Let us hit Rick in New Jersey, who's been patient. Richard, how are you, bud?
What's going on, buddy?
How you doing?
Listen, I just want to say I like you a lot, man. This is why I find it hard to believe that you believe Adam Gase didn't know what was going on. Derek Carr has to be in the matrix, man, to be able to change the play, look at the personnel, and see what happens before Adam Gase hears the play call. I mean, I feel like he's obviously lying, which he always does, to throw someone else under the bus. Because he has to see the personnel. I don't care if he's talking to a coach. Even if he's talking to the coach, that's got to be even worse, that he's not paying attention to the game on the last play for a game that they haven't won in 11 tries.
Rick, has Adam Gase earned the benefit of the doubt? Of course not. Never whatsoever. Here's the problem. There's a bigger jackass who's coaching for him in Greg Williams than Adam Gase is. And if it was anybody else, I'd probably agree with you. And you can even make the argument that the fact that he was slow to realizing that was the case, if it was the case, is negligent in and of itself. But it doesn't matter. He's not going to be here. In that case, I don't think there's any doubt when that call is made initially by Greg Williams, he's trying to get fired. He's trying to get the hell out of there. Because you can't look your players in the face again after something like that.
I don't know, man. I just find it hard to believe.
Listen, I understand your distrust in Gase. Absolutely, I do. And thanks for the call, Rick. But I also think in this case, there was a much bigger jackass involved. Gary in Brooklyn. We got about a minute. Gary, go. Gary!
Out there.
Damn! That's how we end the show. With a big thud. Well, so be it. As I said, the great Larry Hardesty is on deck. He is coming up with ESPN New York tonight. In just moments, if you did not get to hear Buster Olney, by all means, check out the podcast available on the ESPN app, on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, Stitcher, wherever you get your podcasts, it's available. Subscribe, rate, and review the show, Carlin. The discussion with our buddy Buster Olney, fantastic in terms of insight on the Mets and the Yankees. We will be back tomorrow night at 7 p.m. normal time. Awesome job by the backbone of the show tonight, Brian Munguia. Until then, stay handsome. Carlin out.
You are down, Carlin.
Should be properly.
That's good.